Rochester, welcome to Carrie Brennan.
Hi, guys. Hey, everyone. Hi. Can you guys hear me all right? Yeah? Steven, are we figuring out the... I mean, I don't mind. It's kind of like a little meta film situation, but it's all right. I'll just continue on. So, my name is Carrie. As Steven just mentioned, I'm a writer, I'm a professional speaker, and I'm the creator of Block the Film, which is the movie that we're going to watch tonight. Okay, now I know you're probably all wondering, so let's just address the elephant in the room. What am I doing with a cinder block? I mean, I'm always one for literal metaphors, but this is a lot. Now, in order to really answer that question, I'm going to tell you guys 3 stories today. 3 stories that happened in my life prior to writing the film Block. So, story number 1 starts all the way back in 7th grade. I will never forget. It was a Thursday night, and I had just gotten home from SEPA lacrosse practice. And this wasn't just any practice, this was tryouts. And I had made the team. I was so excited. This was the one thing that I wanted to accomplish in my little 7th grade world at the time, and I had done it. So I come home to my parents' house, I rush inside, I throw my backpack aside, and I make myself a celebratory dinner. My favorite, ramen noodle soup. So I'm standing in my parents' kitchen, eating my dinner, basking in my glory, watching TV, when all of a sudden a gay couple comes on screen. And 2 things happened in that moment. The first thing that happened was, on a visceral level, my heart starts pounding, beating out of my chest. And the second thing that happened was something inside me said, "Me too." Didn't know why. And with that recognition came so much fear and dread and doubt and terror. It was the first time I asked myself the question, why do I feel this way? And I couldn't answer it. And you know what's so funny? Little personal note. I always kind of kick myself at this part of the story because I wish I could say that in 7th grade, I faced my fears and I came out and I've been living my gay, happy life ever since. But that's actually not the case. Not at all. I completely buried it and carried on with my life. Story number 2 picks up 10 years later. I'm standing in my parents' kitchen in the same exact spot that I stood in 7th grade, asking myself the same damn question, which is, why do I feel this way? Now, at the time, a lot of things in my life were different. I was a college grad now. I wasn't this 7th grade lacrosse player who was just trying to figure themselves out. I knew where I was going in life. I was going to be an actor, and I had this career, and I had the support. And yet still, despite the change of circumstances on the inside, nothing had changed. Nothing had changed. What's that? Oh, is it off? Oh no. How's this? Is that better? Can you guys hear me all right? Yeah? Oh, I'm so glad you stopped me. Oh my gosh. Have you been freaking out for a while? I'm so sorry. Okay, cool. Can you guys hear me now? Yeah. Cool. So, with that full circle recognition, right, I'm like, okay, I am in the same exact spot that I was in when I was in 7th grade. I'm like, I gotta change. I gotta do something. So that night, I did a rogue Google search. Okay, I didn't want anyone to know that I was gonna see a therapist. And I go online and I find the quickest appointment that I could book. Very next day, I find myself outside of this woman's office. And I'm hyping myself up. I'm like, all right, here we go. I'm gonna come out. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fine. Don't worry. And the appointment was awful. It was a complete nightmare. I mean, it took me about 15 minutes to work up the courage to the point where I could say the words, "I'm gay." And as soon as I did, I was met with a whole slew of solutions that this woman thought were going to help me at that moment. She said things like, oh my gosh, don't worry, kid. It's 2016. Like, no one really cares about being gay anymore. It's not that big of a deal. Like, Obama's president. Come on, gay marriage is legal. You shouldn't have to worry so much. And then, kid you not, she said, you know what? You seem like you're kind of nervous about this, so let's try exposure therapy. I want you to jump up and down 10 times and say, I'm gay, I'm gay, I'm gay. Maybe that'll help you. Yeah. Great idea, right? By the end of the session, I had just like completely blacked out. Afterwards, oh, hey, Kayla, come on in. These are my friends. They're late, of course. Welcome. So after the session, I had completely blacked out. I mean, I was just so out of it, couldn't believe what had happened. And I decided to meet my best friend Maddie at Chipotle. So we're standing in line at Chipotle, and she's like, so, how was your day? And I said, good. Yeah, my day was good. Good. 10 minutes prior, I had just had one of the most traumatic experiences in my life. And yet here I am, standing in Chipotle line, holding a burrito, telling my best friend that my day was good. Something had to change, right? I remember a lot of emotions at this particular time. It stuck with me. I remember feeling scared. I remember feeling really pissed off. I remember feeling really isolated. But more than any of those emotions, I was really tired. I was really, really tired. And so I decided to make a vow. I said, I'm going to give it one more shot. I'm going to give it one more shot. And that is where I found Dr. Sharon Kelly. Story number 3. So this is extra special for me tonight because Sharon's actually here with us today. This is the first time. Yeah, let's give a round of applause for Sharon. It's the first time she's hearing this story live, so I may cry, I don't know. Sharon's office is ironically enough located literally on Gay Street in Westchester. So I was like, all right, if that's not a sign, I don't know what is. And I booked an appointment with her. And I don't remember a lot about the first few sessions with her. And I think that was probably because she didn't really talk much. She just listened. She just shut up and listened. And oh my God, that was exactly what I needed. And it wasn't until about the 4th or the 5th session that things really started to click. Top of the session, she said the same thing every time. So calm, cool, and collected, she said, so, how are we doing? And for whatever reason, I was feeling like pretty fired up this day. I said, oh yeah, you know what? I'm doing great. I mean, I kind of feel like I have a 30-pound cinder block like sitting on my chest at all hours of the day. But besides that, I'm doing great. How are you? She's like, okay. She's asking how I'm doing. Let's dig in. She said, tell me more about that. I did. I was working myself up into a tizzy, talking about the logistics of who knew I was gay and who didn't know I was gay. And oh my God, I ran into Alex in the Acme supermarket, and I think he was kind of being weird to me, so he definitely knows. And if he knows, he probably told his mom, and God forbid his mom finds out, because she's going to tell the whole town, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm working myself up and working myself up and working myself up, and she stops me dead in my tracks. And she says, what are you so afraid of? And I said, I'm not afraid of anything. I don't want to be gay. I don't want to be gay. I don't want to have to deal with this thing that is going to other me from people, from relationships that I care so much about. I don't want my friends to look at me differently. I don't want my little brother to maybe not look up to me quite the same way that he does. I don't want my relationship with my parents to maybe change. And it might. I just don't want my relationships to change over something that I don't even want. And because she had taken the time to sit with me and listen and let me get out all of these ugly, raw emotions in those first few sessions. She had my trust. And so she was able to say in that moment probably 3 of the most uncomfortable but necessary words anyone's ever said to me. She said, that might happen. She said, that might happen. And I said, Sharon, here's the deal. You're my therapist. I pay you money. You make me feel better. I feel like I'm going to puke all over your Persian rug right now. And she said, there's a lesson to learn here if you choose to learn it. She said, if you can look inside yourself and you can learn to love yourself, regardless of what anyone thinks of you right now, you're going to find this light. And it might be a flicker at first, but as you grow, it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and it is going to shine brighter and farther than you could have ever imagined. Love yourself. And that's the message of Block. You know, a lot of people think that Kit's block in the movie is that she's gay, right? But it's actually not. Kit's block is that she doesn't love herself. And if I were to guess, I would say that there are silent battles that we all face every single day that nobody knows about. And for me, it was being gay. I couldn't control it. But here's the thing. I was born gay. I am gay. I'm always going to be gay. But how I feel about that, that's the journey. The journey that I went on was one from shame and fear to acceptance to love. To love. Now, I know I said I had 3 stories, but I kind of have 4. Are we okay with that? This is my favorite one. Story number 4, bonus story. 3 years after I sat on Sharon's couch, we were set to film Block the movie. 2 days prior to filming, we had everything locked and loaded, except for one thing. It was our last filming location. And this was the most important location. It was the opening scene of the film and the ending scene of the film. It was a park. And it wasn't just any park, it was Stroud Preserve. Show of hands, who's familiar with Stroud here? Yeah, oh my gosh, everyone, I love that. It's Westchester pride. So as you guys all know, Stroud isn't just like any park. This is like a natural land preserve. So it is pristine, it's beautiful, and it's very well protected. And this was actually the place where I came out to my best friend, Maddie, in real life. So naturally, it meant a lot to me, it meant a lot to the story. We had to film there. And we're getting into the 11th hour, and we have a meeting with everyone, and they say, look, we gotta come up with some plan Bs. So everyone's rallying around and doing such a good job. And I come home after the meeting, and I decide to do a Hail Mary. I call up the director of the Natural Land Preserves of Pennsylvania. So this guy oversees all of the parks in the state. And this dude's name was Bill. And Bill. I saw the Bill over here. He's like, hi. He was not like you. He was very, very buttoned up and business professional and an intense dude from my like LinkedIn research, right? So I'm like nervous. Here I am, this like a lesbian filmmaker with crazy curly hair. So I call him up and he answers. I didn't know he was gonna answer. He says, hello, this is Bill. And I said, hi, Bill. My name's Carrie, and you see, I'm a filmmaker, and I pour my heart out to him, why we needed to film there, why it meant so much to me. For about 5 minutes, I'm talking. And then I go silent, and I wait for his response. And his response was crickets. Oh my, like painstakingly uncomfortable silence. And I'm like sinking in my seat. I'm like, oh, vulnerability hangover to the max. Like, why did I just pour my heart out to this guy? And then he clears his throat and he says, I'm sorry. He was crying. He was crying. He said, my best friend is 55 years old. He just came out to me this past month. I've known he was gay since he was in his 30s. So he said, so this is what's going to happen. We are waiving all of the fees. You're filming there for free as many days as you want. I'm going to handle all of the red tape with management under one condition. And that one condition is that you keep telling this story. So that's why I'm here today. My talks allow people to release the things that they carry so that they can show up in the world closer to their truest selves. And notice, I didn't say your best self, or your most successful self, or your fittest self, or your coolest self. Yourself, just as you are right now in these shoes, with all of your problems, all of your issues, all of your mistakes, all of your allergies, all of your insecurities, and your IBS, and your, oh my God, I can't believe I said that. All of yourself, right here, right now. That's the message of Block. So I did this speech for my mom the other day. I'm talking about loving myself. And in her most loving way, she said, that's great and all, but like, how do you do that? And I'm like, you know what? Fair question. And I had to think about it a little bit, but you know, I'm just like you guys. I'm figuring it out as I go. But the closest answer I have to that is you practice. You try. So if it's okay with you guys, could we do a little meditation exercise? This has been super helpful for me in my own life. So I wanted to share this with you guys today, if that's all right. This is completely 100% optional. If you feel weird or uneasy or nervous at any point, you can, leave. Not going to hurt my feelings. Promise. But it won't get too intense, I promise. So we're going to turn down the lights. Can we turn down the lights, Beth? Cool. Love that. If not, we'll close our eyes anyway. And I'm going to put on some music, and you guys can just relax. How's that?
Yeah.
Love it.
The lights aren't changing.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
We'll be closing our eyes anyway. Amazing. I'm doing a meditation challenge right now, and when I first started doing this, I would do it first thing in the morning, and my sister was staying with me at the time, and I would get up and I would go to my yoga mat and I would do this meditation. It was 20 minutes long. And a few days into the meditations, Kelly comes to me and she says, okay, Carrie, I'm sorry, but you got to figure out another time to do this meditation because it freaks me out because you're passed out asleep on the yoga mat in the morning and I have to step over you to get ready for work and it's just not the vibe. I swear to God. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'm a nighttime meditation person. That's so funny.
I say we give a hand to Stephen and Kat, who are a faculty member and a staff member in the financial aid department, who are just figuring this out.
I totally agree. The support from these guys has been amazing. All hands on deck. It's been so lovely. Oh, here we go. All right. Turn it down a little bit. Oh, yeah. You want to turn it down a little bit? Yeah. Amazing. All right. So if you guys would like, just close your eyes. Nice. And let's just take one breath. Simple, easy. Doesn't have to be a deep breath, just a breath. And I want you to picture your block right in front of you. Now this represents the silent battles that we face every single day that nobody knows about. And you're probably curious about it, so you can walk up to it, maybe touch it, feel it, knock on it. Oh, it's really solid. Maybe you try and go and pick it up. So you try and pick it up and, oh my God, it's so heavy. And you notice that the closer you get to your block, those familiar feelings, that anxiety, that worry, those emotions feel bigger and brighter and scarier and more daunting, more impossible. So I want you to take 3 steps back. 1, 2, 3. And you notice that each step you take back, you feel a little bit lighter, and a little bit lighter, and a little bit lighter. Now I want you to build a protective shield between you and your block. This shield can be made of anything you want. It can be made of bricks, it can be plastic, it can be glass. I like to make it like Harry Potter's invisible cloak sometimes. But whatever it is, this shield completely protects you. So you build it up and you step back. And after you do that, you notice a bright light filling up your body, starting with your toes. This light can be any color you want. My nephew's favorite color is baby blue, so I'm going to use baby blue today. And that light goes from the tips of your toes to your ankles, to your calves and your knees, and your thighs, and your hips. And I want you to pause here for a second. You notice that the bottom half of your body feels amazing. You feel like you could run a fucking marathon and you want more. So you fill up more. That light goes up through your torso and your chest, goes through your biceps, your arms, your forearms and your fingers, and it shoots out through all 10 fingers. It rolls up through your shoulders, and all 24 muscles in your neck relax. Your tongue drops from the top of your mouth. And that bright, loving light shoots through the top of your head. You are lit up like a fucking highlighter with love, pure love. And you look back at your cinder block, and it's so funny because that block, it looks different. Same block, right? Yeah, same block. It looks lighter, smaller. You don't know. So you walk up to it, and as you cross through that threshold past that protective shield, you wait for those familiar feelings of anxiety and worry and doubt and shame and fear and dread to come. But all you feel is love. That's it. And you pick up that block. You wrap your arms around it. And you realize that without changing anything, without taking any action towards that situation, but loving yourself, every square inch of your body, you feel different. And you can't deny it. Now we're going to wrap up in the next 10 seconds, but I just want you to stay here and let yourself be here. That's good. That's good. I want you to take one more deep breath. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. It takes a lot of trust to be able to do that with me, so I just want to thank you guys so much for trusting me to be able to walk through that exercise. This has been amazing, really, truly. So thank you so much. My name's Carrie. I'm here to help people release the things that they carry so that they can show up closest to their true self. So thank you so much.